Hello, everyone. So welcome to PIC Q&A Corner at the Open Campus 2025 of the University of Tokyo. My name is Isabelle Giraudou, and I'm a professor within the PIC program and particularly within the environment science component. So again, thank you very much. Thank you all for coming to this Q&A session. Before we start the Q&A session itself, we will briefly explain about PIC program. Then we will move on to the Q&A session, starting with the questions we received in advance. Please note that this session is being recorded and the recording may be made available publicly, for example, on YouTube. Since this is Zoom webinar, your personal information, such as your name, will not be included in the recording, but if you have any concerns, please contact the admission office by today. Also, if you have any questions about PIC, please use the Zoom Q&A function. This means that don't type your questions into chat. We will make sure, of course, to answer your questions either by text or live. And finally, if there were any questions that were not answered by at the Q&A session, please send them as an email through contact. All right, so I would like to first introduce PIC faculty members and students who joined this session. First, Professor Sanae Suzuki and Professor Fusako Buckman. Thank you. Thanks to you two for joining the session. Professor Sanae, please.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Sanae Suzuki, and the faculty of the JEA, Japan and East Asia. I'm offering the courses in international relations in East Asia or like Southeast Asia, and also global governance and introduction to international international relations. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Suzuki. Professor Buckman.
Hello, everybody. My name is Fusako Buckman. I'm the professor of Japanese language courses. I'm one of the coordinators of the Japanese language program. If you have any questions or concern, please let you are invited to ask any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Buckman. So next, please, let me introduce you to PIC students. We have two PIC students joining today's session, Jerry Dang and Anya Miyasa. First, Anya, a few words, please.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Anya. I'm a first-year student studying in Japan in the East Asia program. Nice to meet you all. Feel free to ask me about anything, experience or such. Thank you.
Thank you, Anya. And Jerry?
Hello everyone, I'm Jerry. I'm first-year JEA student. Do feel free to ask me any questions if you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. And then, of course, we have the admission office staff who will nicely answer your questions. All right, so let's move to general presentation of the University of Tokyo. As you may know, so the University of Tokyo has maintained a long-standing tradition as Japan's leading academic institution. It was founded in 1877 and it underwent several name changes over the years before being renamed the University of Tokyo again in 1947. So basically today we have approximately 29,000 students and 12,000 academic and administrative staff across no less than 43 university organizations. Our international presence is quite substantial with about 460 UTokyo students currently studying abroad and over 5,000 international students on campus. These students are working across our network of 554 international exchange agreements worldwide. The University of Tokyo also is one of the world's, again, leading universities, and even so, we have very reasonable tuition fees, making it quite feasible to go to. Also, the University of Tokyo is famous for its contributions to science, literature, and academia in general. We are proud to have 13 Nobel Prize winners among our faculty, and this does not even include our former students who have received this prestigious honor. So that's for a very general information, and then we will move on to more specific explanation.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Girodo. I am in staff from the admissions office called Yuki. I'll be giving a brief explanation about PEAK. So PEAK is in short for the programs in English at Komaba. It's in the middle of Tokyo, where maybe you've seen the Shibuya crossing. That's very famous. It's very close to this place. It was launched in 2012, and the language of this program is entirely in English. When you graduate, you'll be gaining a Bachelor of Liberal Arts. The PEAK is broken up into two programs, which is one, the International Program on Environmental Sciences, and the other is the International Program on Japan and East Asia. Also, there's some mandatory Japanese language classes included, and no Japanese language knowledge is required to join PEAK. So you can be completely ab initio or very advanced at Japanese. The first 2 years, for years 1 and 2 of the curriculum, is a liberal arts curriculum, and also you'll be taking 1.5 semesters of mandatory Japanese language courses. And in the years 3 and 4, you'll be learning more in-depth classes about the environmental sciences or the Japan and East Asia, whichever program that you choose to go to. The first 2 years is called the junior division, and the second 2 year is called the senior division. In the environmental sciences, you might be learning about environmental principles, material sciences, managements and policies, energies and resources, measurements and evaluation, health and security, and many more. And in Japan and East Asia, you may learn about cultural studies, social and natural sciences, area studies, history, economics and politics, international relationships, and many more. So the PEAK application period is from November 11th to December 9th this year. You'll be going through the first stage, which is the document screening, on November to January. So during this application period, you need to submit all the documents, and then with these documents, we'll be doing this first screening. Next, whoever's gone through past the first stage, they will go to the second stage, which is a personal online interview. Now, this interview will be taking place around in February to March. And for those who's applying for the environmental science courses, they'll have an additional math test as well. For the students who passed both the first stage and the second stage, there will be the successful applicants, and they'll be offered places based on the results of stage 1 and 2 around late March. So for about the living cost, the PEAK needs an admissions fee of about $1,874 one-time fee. The tuition fee is about $4,273 per year. And the accommodation, this photo shown down over here, is the Meijodai International Lodge. And this accommodation is about $551 per month. Also, other than the accommodations like food or everyday living expenses, this may be very depending on the students very much, but typically maybe around $531 may cost per month. Now, this is for the rate is 150 yen per dollar right now at the moment, so this may vary depending on the time of the year as well. Okay, so these are the scholarships that's currently offered to the PEAK students. The University of Tokyo scholarship is a full scholarship, and you'll receive the admission fees, the tuition fees, and living expenses of around 120,000 Japanese yen per month. Other than that, we have country-specific scholarships, such as the JUGES and the JAGAM scholarship, and also the scholarship for Vietnamese Indonesian students studying in Japan by first retail. So, I think I passed the Japanese government scholarship as well. So This MEC scholarship is also a full scholarship. It gives a round trip airline ticket to Tokyo and also covers the admissions fee, tuition fee, and 120,000 yen per month. So now we are moving on to the Q&A session. We'll be first answering the questions that we received in advance. Thank you very much for those who answered in the forms. And so we're so sorry, but since we received many questions, please understand that we'll be answering a selected number out of them. We categorized your question into 5 categories, which is the eligibility, admissions, courses and classes, student life, and general postgraduate questions. So if you have any questions that fall into each category, you can post them into the Zoom Q&A box. I think you can see it down there says question and answer. And if you post it in there, we'll be answering it at the end of the session. So let's start from the eligibility. So before we start, it seems that there are some participants who do not fulfill our eligibility requirements. So let me briefly explain what the peak eligibility requirement is first. So it says in the application guidelines, which is available on our website, that there are 3 different eligibility requirements that the peak applicants need to fulfill. And one thing to note is that they must fulfill all of these 3 eligibility requirements. I think the application guideline link is given in the chat, so if you're interested, please check it out. So eligibility requirement 1 is about the educational histories. Essentially, we expect each applicant to complete all the requirements of a 12-year formal primary and secondary school education. However, there are certain rules. In some cases, they can apply even if they do not complete the 12-year education. So we kindly ask you to check the guidelines first and see if you fulfill the requirements. If you're still not sure after reading the guidelines, please contact the undergraduate admissions office directly from the Contact Us page. Next, so eligibility requirement 2 is about the educational language. The basic rule that the applicants must have or will have received an education in languages other than Japanese. So at least 9 years out of the 12 school years and at least 6 years out of the last school years must be in languages other than Japanese before you receive your high school diploma. So therefore, if you're taking your high school education in Japanese, regrettably, you're not eligible to apply for PEAK. So instead, you need to take another screening, such as the general screening known as the Ikban Senbatsu, and enter the University of Tokyo in April. And just to tell you, the PEAK program starts from September to October, around in the autumn. Next, eligibility requirement 3 is about the standardized examinations. So applicants must have taken one of the standardized examinations specified in the appendix of the application guidelines. They'll need to fulfill the requirements in the which is written there, and they need to fulfill it by the end of the application period, so by December 9th. We accept a wide range of different standardized tests, both international tests, such as the SAT, ACT, IB, A-levels, and also several national tests, such as the CBSE from India, and Abitur in Germany, and many others. So please check the appendix of the application guidelines to see if you can fulfill any of these standardized examinations. So the question that we received, what is the overall average SAT and IB score that is minimum to apply? So please look at the appendix of the application guidelines to see all the specific requirements. Each test has the minimum score that they will need to fulfill. So for example, the minimum requirements for SAT is 1,480, and additionally, if you're applying for the environmental sciences, you need to take a math of 750 or above. For IB, you'll need to have taken or will have a predicted grades of 38 points out of 42 points out of the six subjects that you take, and at least 2 points for the combined TOK and EE. Moving on. Questions. Beyond the academic standardized test scores, are other factors such as extracurricular activities, competition results considered in evaluating applicants? What will make the students stand out in their application? So unfortunately, we cannot say what will benefit your application, but we will check all of the grades and documents that you will submit during the application period holistically. The application process will be done online, so there will be a form for you to submit all the documents, and it will describe which kind of documents you need to submit, so please check it out. The next question, what other requirements such as TOEFL, essays, or interviews will be required to apply for your university? So let me answer this question in detail. So as I said, the application process is conducted completely online. There will be an online application form for you to fill in. And in this application form, there will be a form section for you to enter an essay. The essay prompt is written in the application guidelines already, so you can check it out. Other than this, you will need to submit the official school transcripts and the certificate of graduation. And for those who haven't graduated yet, you will need to send a certificate of expected graduation. So maybe like I'll be graduating in June, July-ish. Also, you'll need to submit the official examination results for academic ability, which is the standardized examinations, which I just explained to fulfill the application eligibility requirement 3. Also, if you have not taken the majority of your education in English, you will need to submit an official test score of English proficiency, such as TOEFL and IELTS. Other than this, you will need to submit 2 evaluations, so recommendation letters from your teachers in high school. Okay, the next question is about courses and classes. So PEAK, as it says, Programs in English at Komaba, is a program in the Komaba campus and is given in English. Are there opportunities for students to interact with students out of PEAK? So the simple question answer for this is yes. So there's classes and academic extracurricular projects. But the classes offered at the University of Tokyo, other than PEAK, are mainly taught in Japanese. So those who wish to take classes other than PEAK, which is offered in Japanese, either in the Komaba campus or the Hongo campus, which is the main campus at a different place, you can do so and earn the credits as long as your Japanese level is sufficient to do all the required work for the classes, and if there are not any registration restrictions set by the faculty. So please note that this will vary depending on each class and each professor. They might accept you or they might not. So you'll have to consult the class once you get in. So if you find any interesting classes, you'll have to contact them and if they can accept you. Okay, other than this, students interact with students out of PEAK through club activities, and I think there's some other organizations and stuff like, and also there's some non-PEAK students that's taking PEAK classes, so you can interact with them as well. Maybe PEAK students, can you give me some insights about how they join or interact? Thank you, Anna.
Okay, so yeah, for the classes itself, usually even like in the big class, there are a lot of like people from the April entry student, like the Japanese student who also join the big class to learn more about and also like to learn English. And yeah, in that class we usually like discuss and interact a lot. And other than class, we also have so many like clubs and circles. For example, I joined the dance circle, and it is it is like a circle for the UTokyo student and also people outside of UTokyo. So not only like you interact with the Japanese people in University of Tokyo, you also like have the opportunity to interact with other people in other university as well. And this is mainly because like we are studying in the Komaba, and the Japanese April entry student are also studying in Komaba for the first 2 years. So yeah, you will like see Japanese people a lot in the campus, and also there's a lot of opportunity to interact with them.
Thank you very much. Jerry, would you like to add on anything?
Yeah, like for student organizations, I do believe that most of student clubs and circles, they welcome international students. You may want to learn a little Japanese, but generally there's very welcoming international students, and also for classes that are taught in Japanese. So if you happen to speak some Japanese, then you will find that people are very nice in those classes that are taught in Japanese. So I feel that you can have a very strong connection with all students in University of Tokyo.
Okay, thank you very much. So as we kind of heard that there is some Japanese language that's necessary, maybe Boikman Sensei, can you explain us about the Japanese classes, about the levels and what kind of level of Japanese you'll end by the end of the classes or anything?
Okay. Regarding levels, we have from 0 level students, really total beginner, to the near native level, in total 5 groups. And then student will be placed by the depending on the result of the placement test. And then students have to take Japanese language courses first 3 terms. That means 1.5 semesters. After that, you can either continue to take Japanese courses as an elective course, or you don't have to take as you wish. You can, so depending on your wish, you can take Japanese courses to continue to study Japanese, and then, or you don't have to. So that's basically the basic outline of the Japanese courses.
Thank you very much. So if you want to, you can really study and advanced in Japanese, and start from zero, having zero knowledge, to having a pretty fluent Japanese. And well, if that's not your passion, then you can I guess you can just take the mandatory classes. And the 5 levels of Japanese classes, I think it depends on, like, you can have absolutely zero knowledge of Japanese, and you'll be put into the initial course, the beginner's course. And if you have some knowledges, you'll be put into the relevant levels, level 5 being the native level students. Is that correct?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, so we will proceed with the questions. Some more questions about the courses and classes. So are there any double degree or study abroad opportunities? First of all, unfortunately, you cannot have a double degree in the University of Tokyo. However, there are plenty of study abroad opportunities. So, we'll be sending a link right now, and there's all the opportunities given by the university. And also there's a student-made video which talks about their experiences studying abroad. So please check it out as well. I think many students tend to do a study abroad around in their 3rd year, I think, for half a year or 1 year. And they really go to various different countries, like Switzerland or China or many other places, I think. US, of course. Okay, so oh yeah, the links are on the chat, so please check it out. There's also a student-made video about the senior thesis, so if you're interested in that, you can check that as well. Okay, next, can you describe the types of non-lecture classes, if any, that are offered in both courses? Could you introduce the course's difficulty and the social atmosphere in UTokyo? And are there any internships or any other opportunities in which students can apply their learning? So can I ask the ES and JEA professors to answer this? Starting from Jiroro sensei.
Right, thank you for your question. So there are many different classes in the PIC program and in both sections actually. Regarding environmental sciences, some colleagues offer classes following the flipped classroom. This means that the lecturing part is pre-recorded and students have, before joining the class, they have to watch the video. And then the entire class is devoted to experiments, discussions, and so forth. So that's one thing. Another thing is that most of the classes are designed following the active learning format. This means that, for example, the first part of the class, let's say 30 minutes, can consist of a short lecture, hopefully interactive lecture, and then this short interactive lecture being followed by group and classroom discussions. So that's typically the format of my classes. So in addition to lecture classes, which remains a minority, we have most of the classes are small format classes of about 20 students max. It's more the case of 10 or 15 students. And then the lecturing part, if any, is very short, most of the remaining time being devoted to either experiments, group, or classroom discussions.
Okay, thank you very much. So that was the explanation about the environmental sciences side. Suzuki Sensei, can you explain about the Japan and East Asia side?
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. I guess, quite similar, to the, the courses in offered in the environmental science as well. So actually the thanks to the quite limited number of the students. So we don't really offer the courses entirely for the only lectures. So mainly so we are really conducted interactive, kind of the classes. So there are different kinds of formats for the courses, and maybe after giving some lectures by professors, and then we would like to ask the students to have a group discussions, or maybe some students are asked to make a presentations at the beginning of the classes, and then also my course, especially I don't really ask the students beforehand, during the lectures, I would direct to ask you, all of the students to, for the opinions, on my lectures, on my explanations and all this. So basically all the kinds of format actually observed in a JEA course as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so moving on, what is the gender ratio of PEAK? So in UTokyo as a general, there's much more male students, but in PEAK, it depends on the year, but in general, about half-half. The second question, as an all-English taught program, how does it ensure students' in-depth understanding of Japanese culture and society? Okay, this is a good question. It really depends on the students. So there are multiple chances for you to join events or that, but it's up to you to keep an eye up on them and decide to join or not. So I think I think it depends on the year and how they organize it, but many social interactions such as going to watch the sumo wrestling, kabuki, or those kind of traditional things, going to temples and things. But other than that, also students tend to travel around Japan while they're here and go experience it by themselves. But Suzuki Sensei, is there anything that are there any classes that teaches maybe culture or society in Japan and East Asia side? Suzuki Sensei?
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry, can I get the
Sorry.
what you mean by that? Japanese culture and society. There are some several classes, but are you asking whether they have a classes, for the students to deepen and understanding on the Japanese culture and society?
Yes,
Then,
yes.
yeah, okay, yeah, of course, there are plenty of plenty of the courses, not plenty, but several courses offered for like a Japanese culture and society and humanities, and also like social sciences as well. And some professor also offer like educations, the Japanese educations or like some related, the topic as well. And then, I know like there are a lot of students like who are interested in like Japanese cultures, like manga or like medias or like the pop music and all things. So, and then although like, there are not so many courses on this topic, but there are some professors who can actually give some advice to you. And then if you can speak, can catch up like, the courses, taught in Japanese, of course, you're welcome to taking the courses. So, but I think, personally, you can contact to the professors who are actually specialize in the cultures and cultural studies and then social science as well. Okay, thank you. Is that the,
Yes.
did I answer the questions?
Yes, very much.
I
Thank
hope
you.
so. Yeah, thank you.
So students, have you ever gone to like any of the events that introduces you to Japanese culture or had any experiences?
Yeah. So before this, I live in a dorm, and it's a University of Tokyo dorm. And usually in the dorm itself, there are like various events like drinking the tea ceremony events, wearing kimono, yukata, and such. And also, I experienced a various festival as well. Like I went to the fireworks festival for this summer, and also I experienced the seijisiki, which is like coming of age ceremony where I can wear like kimono with my friends and like celebrating uh turning into 20 and with my friends and such. And other than that, yeah, me and my friend usually go like travel to like temple and other various like Japanese culture as well. And also regarding the class, there are actually like specific class about like Japanese culture, both the historical Japanese culture and Japanese pop culture. And yeah, I learned a lot of things from that class, like not only like things that you see in like in daily life or social media, but like I got the change the opportunity to really know what's going on in the Japanese culture, and I really love that class. It makes me feel like I know Japanese better.
Hey, thank you very much. How about
Um,
Jerry?
yeah, so I do believe that there are a lot of events about Japanese culture. I think the international office, they do have one event. I think it's visiting a kabuki theater, and another event is to visit a Japanese tea culture exhibition. So there are a lot of opportunities that you can actually get in touch with the local Japanese culture.
Great, thank you very much. So I guess I can say that you have no worries about having in-depth knowledge. All right, so I think Anya just mentioned, but how is the dormitory? What are the options for residents? What is the support for housing? And if there is, are there on-campus housing? So as written in the chat, there's a link to our accommodation, which is the Meiji-Oda International Lodge, right in this photo. So most of the peak students, I think, enter here for the first year, and they're given the option to have a room in this, and many take the opportunity, and I think they also make friends with their peers here as well. There's Anya, are you living in the dormitory now?
Not now,
Oh,
but
okay.
I used to live in dorm for like 6 months.
Okay. So after that, did you find your accommodation by yourself?
Yeah, I find accommodation by myself.
Okay, so there are people who's living alone and finding accommodations as well too. Jerry, were you living in the dorms?
No, I didn't live in a dorm. I just find a private apartment.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so these two, I think, we're not living in the dorms, but there is the Major International Lodge. This place is located around 40 minutes in the train, and it has the individual rooms. So each people have a room, although it might be a little bit small. And there's the shared kitchen and shared space in the first place. I think there's some maybe theater watching rooms and things as well. So that's option given too. Okay. So some more questions about the student life. So what does the average day, week, month, semester of an ES or JEA student look like? Unfortunately, today we did not have an ES student that's joining us. So both of the students are from JEA. So we'd like to learn about the JEA students in specific. So the average day, week, month, and semester, and what is the most interesting class you have taken so far? And what kind of extracurricular activities can geek students do? Jerry, can you start this time?
Yeah, sure. I think that the schedule is actually very flexible. I usually have 2 to 3 courses every day, and after the course time, I usually choose to have some student organization activities. I'm personally in the table tennis, the ping pong club, so I do some sports, and also I'm also in the anime club, which is a place where a lot of people actually enjoy anime. So, um, yeah, I think the courses are very flexible, and for the rest of time, I do go to a lot of hikings and sports. That's it.
Thank you. Did you have any interesting classes that you would like to share?
Interesting class? Yes. Um, I believe one of the interesting class is about sociology. This year, we learned about the whole Japanese culture, um, the identity of self from a philosophy point, and also from a historical point, from the ancient Japanese history to the present Asian context, which is actually really interesting. And I do believe that sociology is a core thing in JEA major.
Great, thank you. Anya, can you start follow up?
Oh yeah, so for like the average day is pretty much the same as Jerry, like 2 or 3 class per week. Maybe I'm gonna like add a little bit more for like the ES student because my friends are also like in ES, and for ES they're like mandatory courses, like almost at the first semester is like almost every day. So it might be like they have more classes, but they still like have like various option of class. So actually the schedule can also be flexible for ES student as well. And then the most interesting class, this is actually a really hard questions because I think there's all of the class are interesting. But I think if I have to pick one is Japanese pop culture. So I learned about like manga, anime, and a lot of like Japanese pop culture. Not only that, also like the gender studies and also feminism behind that. And I think that's the most interesting class because we also like have discussion with other non-Japanese people and like to share our like view perspective on the Japanese culture from the point of view of non-Japanese people. I think that's like the most interesting class. And also for the extracurricular activities, there's like a really wide options. Like you can literally join anything in the University of Tokyo because uh people are really welcome to like the international student. And I think most of the big program student join English speaking society. because in that circle they also can meet like April entry student, Japanese student who also want to like learn English. So yeah, there's like interaction that goes both ways, like learning Japanese and learning English in that activities.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you. Yeah, the extracurricular activities, there's a really, really wide variety that's offered in the University of Tokyo. As in the photo, there's like the rugby, so a whole bunch of sports like tennis, rugby, basketball, soccer, the karate, judo, those kind of things. And also there's a really wide variety that goes to the smallest, very detailed place. So like doing magic, or like I'm doing reading manga, or I think there's some that's wearing kimonos or those kind of things. So there's really a wide variety of student activities that you can choose from. And about the interesting classes, since there were no ES students, there's a lot of ES classes that's based in the lab as well, and I think the lab works are very fun to do. And there's I think the mandatory courses that Anya mentioned were like the math courses and things. Jirodo Sensei, are there any interesting classes you would like to introduce?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I mean, the DS program is quite interesting because we have there a majority of hard sciences classes, chemistry, we have also ecology and so forth. And we have a minority of classes focusing on social sciences, for example, environmental economics, environmental policy, and law. So there is indeed a variety of classes. And I mentioned a few minutes ago, the format of these classes is really focusing on active learning teaching methods, which really seek to involve the students as much as possible through discussions, through experiments, and so forth. And then in terms of preferences, I'm sure it depends really on the students. Based on graduation thesis topics, I mean, it's again very varied. We have students who really have a strong interest in environmental economics and focusing all their attention on corporate social responsibility related issues, sustainability studies, and so forth, while other students really focus their attention on experiments and very, again, focused interest in these classes. So I can't speak for them, but I'm sure that a lot of students are passionate about what they are doing and what they are learning.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to questions about the postgraduate. So does the university provide any job-seeking assistance? So yes, there's the support given by the university. I think there will be a link as well. Yes, and there's what are the main employment directions, and what is the further study rate of graduates of the program, and what schools and majors do they usually choose to? So let me answer to these questions with some data. So approximately half of the graduates go to graduate school, and the majority go to Japan, but they also go to a really wide variety of different countries, the USA and the UK being the biggest because they're the English-speaking countries, and also Switzerland, Denmark, Canada, France, Germany, and many more. For those who go to the employment, most of them tend to get employed in Japan, but of course they might go back to their home country or go to other countries and get employed there. For the others, they might be preparing to work or doing job hunting, and choose to take another year of leave. For the graduate study institutions that they go to, here's a list of some of the schools that they've gone to. They've gone to very prestigious universities like Oxford, Yale, ETH Zurich, Duke, and Harvard, Columbia, many others. And of course, there's some students that pursue their studies in the University of Tokyo as well. the study subjects of the graduate schools also vary very much. So those who graduated from ES, they go on studying about many different things such as engineering, economics, biomedical engineering, frontier sciences, public policy, etc. And those who graduated for JEA, they might go into area studies, East Asian studies, economics, history, international relationships, sociology, etc. So there's a really big freedom of choice after you graduate. For those who gets employed, also there's a huge variety from business, accounting, education to creative arts and designs, national governments, and financial and many others. So if you're interested in looking at the numbers and the names, there's the Peak Graduate Status page written in the chat box, so please check it out. Okay, so we also received some questions about the College of Design, which is a new program that's starting in 2027. So it says, will Peak students be transferred to the new program in 2027 and start a new curriculum from their sophomore year? The answer is no. If you're admitted to Peak, you will be affiliated to Peak until you graduate, so usually for 4 years. And the next question, will it be possible to know more about the UTokyo College of Design? The details about the UTokyo College of Design, which is starting in 2027, are still under development. So there is the official website and the chat box, and they seem to be updating the website frequently. So please check the website for the details. All right, thank you very much. This is the end of the pre-collected questions that we've received. I think there's some question in the Q&A box, so let me answer them. So question number 1, can a permanent resident card holder of Japan apply to Peak? The answer is yes. So your nationality does not matter as long as you fulfill the 3 requirements that I mentioned at the beginning. So I think especially this one might be, if you're Japanese, then you might have some Japanese education as well. So please be careful that you fulfill these requirements and the other 2 as well. So you're having a permanent residence card will not matter as long as you fulfill the eligibility requirements. Okay, the next question is that if I have taken an IELTS test on 2023 July, is that possible for me to use that score? The IELTS, give me a second to check. There's you need to submit the IELTS test if you have not taken this number of education in English. So sorry, there was an error given that you have to take your English, and that is here. Sorry. So only scores from the English proficiencies test that's taken after December 1st, 2023 will be accepted. So in your case, 2023 July is a little bit too old. So I think if you do not, if you haven't taken the majority of your education in English, then I think you might need to take another IELTS or any other TOEFL, IELTS or others English proficiency tests. Okay, another question is, I am completing my high school from Japan. So how much score I need to qualify? So as I mentioned again, if you're graduating from a school in Japan, if you're going to maybe, for example, an international school and all of your education is given in English, then you'll fulfill this eligibility requirements. But if you've gone through a Japanese curriculum and learned in Japanese, then you'll not be able to apply to Peak. So you'll be, please apply for the Ippan Senbatsu or others. If you are going to an international school, or then you will have to fulfill the requirements for requirement 3. So over here, so you need to take one of the tests, the standardized examination tests, and fulfill the minimum requirements written in the appendix. So here's the QR code. You can check the application guidelines over here. Other than that, we will be requiring you to submit your transcripts and things, but for these, it will be all checked holistically, so there's not like a specific score for it. Okay, so this is all of the 3 questions that we received. Are there any other questions? If there are, then we'll be waiting for them to be sent in the Q&A box. Meanwhile, while we're waiting, maybe let me ask the students, do you know anyone who's doing like part-time jobs, or are you doing any part-time jobs? Anya?
Oh yeah, I think some of my friends are doing part-time jobs as a tutor, like tutor for like elementary kid student, teaching like English and yeah, and I think I'm also like trying to find a part-time job, like just like working in cafe just to like improve my Japanese in general. Yeah, so like I think most of like big students are like finding part-time jobs.
So like work-life balance wise, there's this time to go to school, and then the time to do your homework and the assignments, and then other than that, do you still have plenty of time to do your extracurricular activities and stuff?
Oh yeah, from what I see, my friends are like still have that kind of like work-life balance because like the school schedule is really flexible. Like you can build your schedule uh by yourself, and you actually can have like a day off. I think most of my friends have like a Wednesday off for their schedule in the week. So yeah, they maximize their part-time jobs or like doing homework during that day. So yeah, it's pretty much balanced and there's nothing worrying at all.
Great, thank you.
I do see a lot of part-time job opportunities, usually in the university library, because they have a lot of work to do, and you can join them as a part-time staff to help them collect books and also organize the whole environment. And also there are other like university part-time opportunities, like the geo tutor, where you can talk to different people and practice language. Yeah, I believe that even in university, not outside of school, you will have a lot of part-time opportunities.
Great, thank you. Oh, okay, we received several more questions, so let's answer them. The question is, even if I fulfill all requirements, is TOEFL necessary? Would not having a score influence my acceptance possibility? So your TOEFL or your English proficiency test is only necessary if you have not taken most of your education in English. So this number of years, if you have this much number of education in English, then you do not have to submit it, and it will not influence your acceptance possibility. If you haven't, then you will need to submit it. Okay, the next question is, I want to know more about the math test and online interview for the environmental science course. So for example, the duration, criteria, and how to prepare. Unfortunately, we're not able to give you the details about the interview and math test, but on our FAQ on the website, there's some sample questions for the interview and also the sample questions for the math test. So I think checking that will help you a lot. The Q&A, oh, sorry, it's not in the Q&A. If you go to the website, on the right side at the top, it says FAQ. So if you go to the FAQ and type in like maybe interview or something, then you should find it there. Okay, the next question. If we wish to submit proof of accomplishment from extracurriculars, etc., during the admissions, what format should we be in? Is there a time limit on these in years? So we don't have a specific time limit, but in within the application page here, in the document screenings, there's a place that says that you can submit some other documentary evidences. So you can select up to 3 other out of like whatever you've done out of the schoolwork. So maybe you've gone to a contest, or you've joined this conference, or those kind of things. So you can, for those ones, you can submit if you have the proof. And what format should those be in? It will probably be like in a PDF or Excel or something will be helpful. You will not be able to submit some videos or those kind of things. So please try to submit something that you think will be positive for your application. Okay, the next question. I studied 9 years from the other countries and completing my high school from Japan. Can I apply? Okay, so this is a difficult question, as so although you might fulfill this this requirements, you'll have to take at least 5 years of the second to 6 years, so your middle school and high school, in languages other than Japanese. So if you've been into a high school from Japan, you will need to prove that you've been given education in languages other than Japanese. So we need to give an in-depth look in it. So if you go to our website, there will be a contact us page. And if you can send us your detailed education history there, then we can answer if you're eligible or not. Yep. And in the chatter box, there's the contact us page. So please access it from there. Okay, so I think that's about all the questions that we received. So, okay, so I believe some of you may want to attend other online sessions at the open campus and things, so we will close this session very soon. The admissions office member and some faculty member might be staying in Zoom and continue if there's additional questions, which we do have right now. Let me answer this right now. So as a Japanese student, will I have chances to interact with PEAK students? Answer is yes. So just like the students said, there's many chances for the PEAK students to interact with the non-PEAK students. So of course, vice versa, the non-PEAK students will have plenty of chances to interact with the PEAK students. So I think there's the classes that's given in PEAK. The classes will be in English, but if you can't catch up with the English, then some classes you'll be able to take as well. And other than that, there's also the clubs and things that I think they said that interacts with the international students and the non-international students. So please take a chance from there. Right, so going back to the conclusion, sorry again. So thank you very much for joining the PEAK Q&A corner. Please visit our website for more information. Let me go to the QR code for my website. Right. So for more information, visit our website. And if you have not read the application guidelines by now, we highly recommend you to read them so it can help us prepare for the application. Thank you very much for your attendance today. If you had any questions that was not answered during this session, please ask us through the contact page on our website. Okay, thank you very much for joining. Bye.